We all love it when the holidays get closer and we look forward to spending time with our family and to enjoy all the festivities and all the fun things that these, especially Christmas, brings. Um, but for some of us, there is some really nerve-wracking or uncomfortable things we think about when we think about all gathering together as a family. So today I want to talk about a client who also felt this way. She really loved the holidays. She loved having family around her. She loved the idea of all the things that Christmas brings. But she also knew that many times these times with her mother were really uncomfortable and often left her feeling sad and like things were not the way she wanted them to be. So, going into this one Christmas, even though she was apprehensive, she was willing and realized she could handle it, she could get through it, she would be okay. But what actually happened was not what she expected. The turkey dinner was on, and they had everything together with the family. They had all the Christmas traditions, and everything was set to go. And that's when her mother started to turn towards my client and start to really put her down for the meal that she had prepared. And it became kind of a big thing with everybody around. It wasn't just quietly, it was with everybody there. So, this was the moment that my client decided that she wasn't willing to have this kind of dynamic with her mother anymore. So instead of brushing it off like she'd done in the past, she made a decision in that moment, though she did stay to the end of the dinner, to the end of the meal. But when she left, she was clear that she was ready to make a change. So I want to talk about this sort of change that happens in our families and how that changes who we are as a person. So this wasn't a change she actually had anticipated, but when the moment came, she knew it was undeniable that things had to be different and that she was the one that could change the situation. What she realized was that she was done waiting for her mother to change. She was done waiting for her to accept her, to make her feel loved and all the things she wanted. Even though at times there were really good connections with her mother, what she was finding was that she was done waiting for her to show up in a certain way, and she wanted to put the focus back on herself and how she wanted to be in this relationship with her mother. She didn't choose in this situation to create a rupture, but that is what happened. And after she got home, she spent some time with herself and she realized that she needed to do something very clear, and she cut the relationship off and focused on who she wanted to be in this relationship, and she knew there was something really important she needed to look at herself about. She realized she'd been living a version of herself that was shaped by her upbringing and her mother and the fear and the perfectionism that was expected of her, and she was no longer wanting to be that version, and she was ready to take a look at herself and transform into who she was in this relationship in a way that felt good to her. So this is an example of a situation where something has changed from before it happens to after it happens. Everything begins to look differently and feel differently. So what she found going forward was that her family situation was no longer the way it was before, and she was in a place of recreating what she wanted it to look like from her side of things. And though she didn't want a rupture, though she didn't want to have no contact with her mother, that is what happened for a while. But during that space, she was able to really hear her own voice and begin to find out what she wanted to recreate in her family. So, one of the biggest things that she was aware of as she did her own inner work was she didn't want to abandon herself to keep the relationship intact. What she really wanted was to hear her truth and to show up in the way that was putting her honesty and clarity of what she wanted and who she was going to be in the relationship before letting anything else take over. So for the month of December, we're going to take a look at how this big life change of realizing that your family situation has to change, how this creates the change in yourself and how it creates the growth that you're looking for. When she realized the relationship can't stay the same as it's always been, it became the doorway into finding out who she was for herself. In the next video, we'll talk about how losing connection with your family is an example of transformational change that allows you to go through the change cycle and work through the 4 stages of change and grieving and disbelieving in square 1. And then in square 2, it's really deciding, well, what do you want your life to look like in your family? What do you need to learn? What are the pieces that are aligning with your values and what aren't? And really deciding as you recreate who you want to be in this new relationship now, allows you to do the deeper work so that is required for you to change and allow yourself to feel better in your family. Then we'll talk about how in square 3, some of the steps that you need to actually take, and then getting to square 4. So we'll do a little bit of a full change cycle to show you an example or how it works using this example of a disconnection in the family. All right, well, I hope you have a good start to your holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.